Yep, it's still good. Well, good afternoon, guys. Boy, am I kind of bummed out that we wasn't able to take this thing to rod run. But no, we're getting the Bronco 2 pretty much buttoned up. And I think I figured out a name for it. We're getting old Todd the Bronco 2, buttoned up pretty good. Everything I done in the last video. We just found out too many things that was wrong that led me not to take this thing on a pretty much 3-hour trip away from home and driving in the middle of 70-degree weather while it was down there in traffic that probably took 2 or 3 hours just to even get through. And I come down to the conclusion that we needed a bottom radiator hose. I did see a pretty wore spot on it from where it's set up against some piece of metal there on the frame. And we're just going to go ahead and replace it. I already ordered it. Antifreeze seems to be sitting full this morning, but also we're on kind of an incline, so it's a little, like probably about that much low, but I got some extra I can throw in it. As far as that goes, the other issue that we was having is we were having a high idle issue, and that's kind of gotten a little bit better, but see, it like cuts in and out, and the reason why is because the ignition control module on the back of the distributor is loose. And I wouldn't have noticed it unless I started to turn the distributor to adjust the timing. And whenever I pulled it this way, it pulled it away from the distributor and caused it to run like crap and flood. And then when I pushed it back the other way, it proceeded to go back to the good idle, but it was still a high idle. So I'm thinking that the high idle issue is something else. And we got to figure out, where we can button this thing down at, and then see if I can tighten up that ICM. The radiator hose won't be here till 3 o'clock, and I got to go pick it up at O'Reilly's. Not only that, I got 4 tires sitting in the back that came off copper, and they're 235/75/15s. And since I did the leveling kit on the front of copper, they was just too small, and with the wheels that it had, it just didn't look good enough. So we're going to throw them on this old bad boy because the tires ain't got but probably 100, 150 miles on them at best. I am a little worried about it though, because this tire right here is eating out on the inside. And when I look at it, it looks like it's bowed just a little bit towards the inside on the top side. So it probably needs an alignment. If not, maybe the spring needs to be replaced because these do have weak springs in the front, and they're known for that. But other than that, I hadn't really took Todd out on the road. I just basically been putting him around here at the house, and he seems to be doing fine. The only time that I really had him on pavement, and I don't consider that, any bit worth of a drive on the road, is when I took him up the road here, turned around at the church at the top of the hill, and come back down, and the suspension in this thing is just wore slap out. I mean, when you hit a bump, it feels like you're riding on a boat. But we can get all that done. Another thing I found out is I have a muffler leak of some sort. And I think I have a leak up here, but I think it's coming from the EGR tube. I'm not so worried about, the leak that's coming from the EGR tube, but the one that's going back to the tailpipe, I believe it's right there at the muffler. And if you know the state of Virginia, like I know the state of Virginia, unless you go to a place that you actually know, then they ain't going to pass nothing like that. So I believe we're going to, fix and take care of that. It won't be on this episode, but we might take care of half of it because there's a few things that I want to do because we're just not going to put a normal muffler and tailpipe back on this. Nope, can't do it. It might be a small V6, but these 2.9 sound pretty good, and I feel like it's worthy enough to get something to make it sound good. Don't you think so? By the way, if you haven't yet, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell, share this video. Do whatever you can so that way more people can see more of this cornbread content. I think we're up to 715 subscribers now, and I'm getting to where I'm posting more frequently. I think the last video, it took me a couple of weeks, but I got it posted, okay? So just, bear with me as I go along these things. I was hoping that I was going to take this thing on a long trip. And the thing is we probably still might, but, I got to fix a few things on her. I got to make sure that, everything's good and, got to make sure that it's at least in decent shape, so that way we don't, get down there and something huge happen. But I think that's enough talking. It's time to get to fiddling with this thing and see if we can't, get her in tip-top shape. Oh yeah, welcome to the channel. It's stupid the way Ford designed it. It's plumb in the back below the distributor, and it's hard to get anything back there. But I got back there before, so I know I can do it again. It's just not much room to turn or anything like that. Now the ICM, there's usually 2 bolts that hold it down, and they're pretty small. So I'm gonna see if it has both of them, and if it does, I'll do a little bit of research on what size they are and see if we can't tighten them up too and take care of that issue. Now there's a couple of things that can affect the idles on these 2.9s. One is the idle air control valve, and if they're stuck open or stuck closed, you'll either have a vehicle that won't run or a vehicle that idles way too high. So I took it off already, and I checked the valve, and the valve was pretty clean, and it was springing back and forth. Now it could be the motor that's inside of there. I haven't replaced it, and that's very well possible. Or another issue that these things had is this little module here on the side of the throttle body. I can't remember what they call it, but basically there's guys that go in there and basically drill out some of this plastic to where they can turn it and fine tune it and stuff like that. And there's some people that mess with these adjustment screws on this throttle body, and you're not supposed to mess with that at all. I don't know why they put it on there and said that you couldn't mess with it, but it's kind of stupid in my mind. But that's Ford, and the thing about Ford is they do stupid stuff, but their stupid stuff that they do works and is kind of reliable. Another issue that I forgot to mention, which y'all knew from the beginning if you knew the first few videos of Trailer Trash Todd here. Yes, I called him Trailer Trash. I mean, he came out of a trailer park, so what do you want me to call him? Trailer Todd, Trailer Park Todd, Trailer Trash Todd, White Trash Todd. I mean, whatever, it's Todd, okay? But the solenoid that goes over here on the firewall, basically the starter was frozen down there, and then the solenoid over here was clicking, so I had to use a screwdriver to start it. I went to AutoZone, bought one of their Duralast parts, because you go to AutoZone, stuff's cheaper, you think it's better, but it's not, and you really should have got the gold, but you went with the Duralast, and it turned out it was junk. And you put it on, next thing you know, the starter starts hanging, and it makes you mad because you just rebuilt this motor and you're trying to get it running, and the starter's doing something stupid, and you're just aggravated with it at the time. But I took that thing back, didn't warranty it, got my money back, went to Advance Auto Parts and got a CarQuest part, and now it's been starting with a key every time, so that fixed that issue. And I can't remember if that bolt is a 9/16 or a 1/2 inch that goes to that distributor, so we're just gonna guess at it for now. Use one of the old wheels off of copper, stand on. It'll be all right as long as it don't fumble with me. Oh, this is aggravating. All right, figure out something different. It's not working. Can't remember if the thing was a... Oh man, let's see it turning that distributor, and it's just not helping. Whew. These wires in the way. God, this makes this aggravating. Right there. There we go. Where I want it. Okay, I think that ought to be good enough. All right. Ooh. There's a half, not a 9/16. I don't know why I thought that. Now let's see if we can get back here to this ICM. See what we're dealing with here. Okay. I'm going to have to check and see what sizes they are. I feel like I can get to them if it's got it. But we're just going to have to see here. It's at a 5.5 millimeter size. So, put my wrench up right here. You know, people can say what they want to about cheap tools. I'm going to tell you, this Pittsburgh tool set, a few things that makes them great is these soft handle grips for the wrenches. If you know what I'm talking about, when you work outside in the cold or the heat, really makes a difference on your hands. And the sizes and the sockets that they have, the wrenches, it comes with a crescent wrench, pair of needle nose pliers, and comes with a screwdriver with all kinds of bits. It's really just a great set of tools to take with you in case you get broke down on the side of the road. Now, is it the tool set that I would want for the inside of my garage? No, but this works pretty good for being on the side of the road. Okay, don't want to tighten that up too much. Let's get to the other one. Well, either there ain't one there or somebody's already stripped it. So that tells me all that I need to know for this thing is we're just going to have to get a new, all right, come on, Fur, distributor for this thing, which sucks, but I believe if we take the cap off first, we can get to that bolt back there and replace this thing pretty easy. Just go ahead and mark down every wire where they're at, so that way we know, and get a distributor order for this thing, so that way we can get that fixed. There ain't really nothing we can do about that right now. All right, so now that we adjusted that thing, let me get in here and start it. I know it didn't make a difference, but we got to at least make sure the thing runs, because I did mess with it. There we go. Park it right here. We'll be ready to go. Got a little burnout in that thing, a little one wheel peel. It burned it up pretty good. I'll show you the tire in a minute. But on the way over here, it ran pretty good. Other than that, high idle, if I can figure that out, coolant leak, and to be honest, the distributor didn't, cut in and out that much, maybe one time. So maybe it's something I can, wait on later on, or maybe I can find a bigger screw to put in there. I don't know. I'm going to get these tires replaced. And then once I get these tires replaced, we'll look at them. But I want to go ahead and show you that tire that I burned up pretty good. Right there's the burn spot. Then here's what all kicked out. And I guess where it was just so rough right here. But here's the tire. Boy, it scarred it up pretty good. I was kind of surprised it did it. As I held the brake and it just wasn't doing it. So I had to let off of it a little bit and really hammer in the gas, and it done it. I was surprised. But I guess I'll get back to you whenever we get these tires on. Well, fellas, we made it back home, and I think old Todd looks pretty good with them 235s on it. And we did figure out that actually there's air shocks in the back. So we pumped it up to about 20 pounds. I don't know what they're rated for or what they're supposed to be at. They said some of them can be rated from 20 up to 200. I do know this side, the tire was kind of eating out on the inside, so I think I might need to go get an alignment. You got something you want to say, Farrell? You want to say it, buddy?
Look to know.
But this is all I can do today. I was at the shop most of the day, and they had to fight to get those tires on those wheels. Something about the machine that he had and the way the arm was articulating itself, it just wasn't working right, and it was trying to rip the bead, and it did it on a few of them, but it's all right. They threw some bead sealer on there, and I think they're going to hold. So tonight I'm going to go pick up the radiator hose. I might pick up a few more things that we can get this thing done, and I guess I'll just see y'all tomorrow when I have all that stuff. All right, guys, we're back. It's a few days later, and I got a couple parts that I want to throw on this thing. I haven't got the distributor yet. Honestly, after I tightened those bolts, I've only had it happen to me one time while I was out on the road. So I think that I'm just going to leave that the way it is for now until a later time when it's more important. And as I know of, the control valve itself is not stuck, but that doesn't mean that the motor on back is doing its job. And that can definitely affect everything, plus the throttle position sensor. I'm running roughly, I think, probably about 2,000 RPM. I've had a Bronco 2 before, and the idle air control valve sticking was my problem. And I've never really had problems with the throttle position sensor. I don't know. It could be either one of them. With this being an OBD1 system instead of an OBD2, it's not going to throw off, some weird check engine light for something small like that, I wouldn't think. I have seen the check engine light in this vehicle come on, and it was when the head gaskets were doing everything that the head gaskets were doing. But other than that, we got two parts that we can replace and kind of experiment with this thing and actually see if the issue is either the throttle position sensor or the idle air control valve. So that's what we're going to do. I got, just my tools ready, my screwdriver. I can't find it anywhere. I was using it to start this thing until I got this solenoid replaced. So I'm just going to take it off with a 1/4-inch ratchet and a 1/4-inch socket with my bit stuck in there. And we're going to replace the throttle position sensor first and see if that does anything. Be really nice to have my screwdriver out about now. I've been using it to start this thing, and I first got that toolbox whenever I first bought this, and I have tore up that screwdriver. The magnet fell out somewhere over there while I was trying to start it, so it don't hold bits anymore. And I think these toolkits from Harbor Freight are like a lifetime guarantee. You pretty much get your tool, so just going to tighten that down, snug it a little bit. I think that was it. Yep. Don't want to go too hard. And then just shove that right in there. Or is it going to? Yeah. That's just. Oh, that's what it is. The rubber piece from the other one is staying on here. Well, we can take care of that right quick. Pull that out. There we go. All right, plugged in. Let's see what it does. Lord, please let that fix it. In Jesus' name, amen. I thought it was idling down, but it's doing that stupid mess with this distributor. Yeah, see? I tell you though, one thing that weirded me out a little bit is the fact that this thing clicked over here. This wire right here, I feel like I'm gonna have to cut it because it just ain't. It ain't holding down good. It's like the insides of it are stripped down. So we know that the throttle position sensor didn't do nothing. Trial by error. So let's take off the air control valve and see what kind of difference we can make there. How about that? I did come with a new gasket, so this one, good God, it's already stuck on there. I want to save it as much as I can. Oh, and it looks like, yeah, didn't save it too good, so, that old gasket material off of there. Hopefully this part ain't bad out the box. Who knows? Because when you get them from parts stores, it just goes that way sometimes, but you got to choose which is the right one, which one is the bad one. You can get good parts from other places and bad parts from other places, but AutoZone, they're the cheapest, but as far as quality, you ain't really going to find it that much. But that's where I got my stuff today. And the reason why, well, because it was the cheapest. Lord, please let this work. Thank you, Jesus. Seems like it's worse. Literally. Wait a minute. It's idling pretty rough. But did the idle just kick down? Because it ain't never went down that low before. Come on. Kick out of it. I'm sitting here trying to figure it out. I don't think it got worse. And I don't really know because I didn't do a test run today beforehand to see if it made a difference on the idle. But it surely didn't fix my problem at all. I'm going to take a look inside that throttle body and just see if anything's going on there. There's something not causing that to sit flush, or is it not getting good vacuum right there, or what's the deal? We're going to see. I don't think that screw's brought out. Hold on here a second. See if we can't do something right here. The doctor in the house. The doctor being me. Huh. Now they say you're not supposed to mess with that screw. I agree. But I believe the screw was messed with before I got it, so I'm messing with the screw. It's hard adjusting it where it's at. I got this plastic thing that I really should take off. I believe that's what I'm going to do. It's getting on my nerves. Would you look at that? Now, when I first crank it and it has those issues with that distributor, it might shut off, but I know it'll fire back up and run, maybe. It usually gives me those issues whenever I first crank it, so we'll just have to try her out. But as far as this right here, I'm happy with this. I think we're going to call that good enough. Alright, well, I'm going to keep these parts, for spares if I do need them. leave those new ones on that I got and just put all what I have left, including this gasket. I could put some sealer on it and use that and this rubber piece and just fit these parts back in this bag. Now there's one more thing that I would like to do to this Bronco before this video ends, but we can't do it today. We're going to have to do it tomorrow. See, the thing is, I have scheduled an appointment for this thing to get a front end alignment so we're not wearing down the tires. And the same place that does front end alignments does exhaust work. So I was like, why not kill two birds with one stone? I mean, if you have not heard these 2.9s without a muffler going 50 mile an hour down the road, then you haven't heard a race car. I mean, if you haven't heard one of these 2.9s going down the road at 50 mile an hour, then do you even really know what true exhaust, like marksmanship? I mean, are you truly an exhaust entrepreneur if you've never went outside the limits of putting an exhaust on something other than a V8? Put it on a V6. Put it on a 4-cylinder. Yeah, the 4-cylinder might sound like a angry bee about ready to get you. You're flapping your hat at it, saying, "Go on, devil," and it's ready to come back at you with that karate-style butt punch, sting of death. And a V6, well, they sound a little bit better at idle, but get them up, 50, 60 mile an hour, they'll sound the same depending on how your exhaust is. But these 2.9s and the Chevrolet 2.8s and 4.3s are some of the best sounding. I would say the Chevrolet 4.3 has any V6 beat. That's just my opinion. I know a lot of you guys that have a lot of newer vehicles, souped up, blah, 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 tuner, Too Fast, Too Furious, Brian, whatever his name was, style vehicles. Now, I know there's some of you out there in the tuner 93.9 radio station egg fried rice scene that, would probably say otherwise with like I don't know, what do you call them? Suppers? A supers? No, it has to be a Supra. A Supra? Ain't they inline or something? I don't know. They're pretty tough motors from what I hear, but they would probably say that's probably the best 6-cylinder motor. But if you haven't heard of 4.3, true duals, any kind of muffler, get rid of the cats. You need to. Sounds good at an idle. It might sound like an angry bumblebee going down the road when you have it 55 and 60, but at idle, it sounds pretty darn good. But there's just one more thing, like I said, that we have to do to make the end of the video, to make it better for y'all, and to get this thing ready for the exhaust shop. And that thing is, we'll just say that we're removing some Cadillacs from the scene, okay? Don't you mean catalytic? You hush your mouth. We don't do that around here. Yep, the 2.9 will have the kitty removed, and it'll be loud. And I got to drive it 30 minutes to the shop to where I'm going with a dead inspection sticker. Oh well, it is what it is. They pulled me over. I'll just say, hey, I'm going to the garage to get it fixed. Maybe the garage I'm going to will slap me an inspection sticker on too. I didn't even think about that, but they probably would. So I will see you guys tomorrow so we can do that. All right, so here's the deal, guys. I got to get my building cleaned out, and I only have so much time to get it cleaned out. So that way I can get it moved and I can get everything ready and prepped for my garage to come. So we're just going to go through this quick. I'm going to start it up, let you hear it how it is now. So I'm going to go ahead and start it now. Cut off the muffler. Start it again, let you hear it. Cut off one of the things I'm not going to mention. And then just go through it, the whole process. So there we go. even think about the fact that every time we start it, it's just going to get hot. So. Oh. Got the scrap metal. Well, sounds pretty good. Not as good as it can. So we're gonna do the next step. Okay, we got the other power robbing device out. I think this is pretty quick. I cut that thing off in like 30 seconds. That's just how fast some people can make some money at the scrapyard. Sounds a little bit louder. He's just going through the process. Now we're going to take the one that's left on there and we're going to gut her like a fish. Oh, did I say that? I didn't mean to say that. I don't know why I said that. Huh. All right, the job has been done. So this time I'm going to shut the hood. I'm gonna start her up, give her a few revs, and then back her off these ramps. Because the next time you'll see this after this video, we'll be getting the front end alignment and getting the exhaust done. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. What in the world? All right now. I swear. I'm gonna have to do something about that. This stupid starter switch. See if it'll do it now. All right now. What happened? I ain't even got no juice. What in the world? What's going on here? Always something. Ooh. All right. The ground going to the battery. I need to fix that. What? Are you kidding? It done it again. I'll be dipped in dog crap. I'm just gonna leave this hood open. Come on, fella. There you go. Stay right there. that's the end of this video. I think we got a lot accomplished with old Todd. Hey, if you haven't yet, make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, smash that bell. Do whatever you can so that way more people can see this cornbread content and we can keep on pushing it out everywhere. I appreciate y'all fellers watching and sticking around, and those of you that comment and do whatever you can, you know, to watch old cornbread here. I know I ain't the best, but I'm something, I guess. And we'll see y'all fellers later.